गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव श्री राधे। जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय श्री गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री गुरु और गौरांग की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 17, text number 32. Tvam vartamanam naradeva deheshu anupravrittoyam adharma pugah lobho nritam chauryam anaryam amho ज्येष्ठा च माया कलहश्च दम्भः त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु अनुप्रवृत्तोऽयम् अधर्मपूगः लोभो नृतं चौर्यमनार्यमम्भो ज्येष्ठा च माया कलहश्च दम्भः त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु अनुप्रवृत्तोऽयम् अधर्मपूगः लोभो नृतं चौर्यमनार्यमम्हो ज्येष्ठा च माया कलहश्च दम्भः त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु अनुप्रवृत्तोऽयमधर्मपूगः लोभो नृतं चौर्यमनार्यमम्हो ज्येष्ठा च माया कलहश्च दम्भः त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु अनुप्रवृत्तोऽयमधर्मपूगः भूतलं चौर्यमनार्यमम्हो त्वां वर्तमानं नरदेव देहेषु जय श्री राधा नील माधव भगवान की जय। श्री गौर निताई की। त्वाम, you, vartamanam, while present, naradeva, a man god or a king, deheshu, in the body, anupravrittah, taking place everywhere, ayam, all these, adharma, irreligious principles, pugaha, in the masses, lobha, greed, anritam, falsity, chauryam, robbery, anaryam, incivility, amha, treasury, Jyeshtha, misfortune, Cha, and Maya, cheating, Kalaha, quarrel, Cha, and Dambha, vanity. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. The principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan or from Mohammedan to Christian or to some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas or formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion, as Vibhu mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of the state will be indifferent to such religious principles. Therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and pilfery will naturally follow. And so there will be no meaning to propaganda crying to stop corruption in the state. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Dam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Barijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. By the blessings of their lordships Shri Shri Radha Nilmadhav, Shri Gaur Nitai, all the acharyas and Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled Vaishnavas. I will try to speak on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam so that I'll absorb myself in this consciousness. So today I'm speaking in English. I think few devotees who may not understand, I think only Sunvagaram Prabhu. I think Mataji's ಒಬ್ಬರೇ English ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯಾರಾದರೂ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ actually Prabhupada is speaking here. What is most important is to follow the principles of religion and not just getting stuck to dogmas or external rituals. So this is long heard example which I remember when I was studying in college. That time in one of the lectures I had heard. The Rajesh Prabhu also I think gives this example. There was one person who was guarding a temple, and he was guarding, and he would always make sure that all the slippers they would leave in the rack, and then they have to enter the temple, and they should not and he had to make sure that nobody enters a temple with slippers. So this was his assigned task. So, and one family, when they came in car, they left their slippers inside the car and they were coming in, and it was written, leave your slippers here only. It was a board, and these people, he showed that board. So where are your slippers, he asked. He said, we have left it inside car. No, please read this, leave your slippers here only. So that means he was expecting them to bring their slippers, put it here, and then go temple. So this is what we say, getting attached to the external ritual and not to the principle. So that's why Prabhupada is also saying here, the Bhagavatam urges people to follow principles of religion, not just dogmas or regulative principles of certain faith. So, and recently, I think 1 year or 1.5 years before, there was Bhakti Vinod Prabhu who had come here. Somehow very cherishable experience, and Prabhuji gave many Bhagavatam classes here. So I remember very vividly some of the examples and some of the concepts which he taught, especially there that time this section of Bhishma Dev's passing away was there, and there it was mentioned Bhishma Dev could apply these principles according to Desha Artha, Desha Kala and Desha Kala Vibhagavit. So that means according to time, place and circumstance, Bhishma Dev could know how to apply these religious principles. So when Prabhuji was speaking on all this, this was the theme that was going on. And Prabhuji was mentioning that recently there is a new term which is there in that industry, that is digital liberation, he was saying. So there are, he was saying, there are liberations which is mentioned in Bhagavatam, and there are 5. But these 9 scientists, they are inventing new liberation. And that is digital. So they are going to give digital liberation to all the people. So that means, first of all, digital is it is not it is virtual. Nothing is accessible physically. So that liberation is also virtual. And then he was quoting very nicely that Karl Marx, he was one of the philosopher, he would say that religion is the opium of the masses. And so, and then he said religion is the opium of the masses and technology is the opium of the classes. So masses means those are little gullible, those who don't have any kind of you can take them anywhere, whatever direction you want, we can take them. They can be easily fooled, they can be easily molded. They don't use their intelligence in discriminating what is right and what is wrong. They usually follow whatever is the trend set by a leader or whoever is a famous person. Whatever he says, they blindly follow. So that is that's the mass mentality.
So when Karl Marx made the statement, he said it is the opium of the masses, religion. Why he said religion is the opium of the masses? Because opium means what? Intoxicant. So it intoxicates people and it puts them in illusion. And they think that they're happy. So people usually, when they take intoxicant, they naturally feel that they are much happy. Their miseries are relieved and they are very happily situated. So that's how people think. So he said religion is like that for all the mass of people. There, actually, religion is not going to do anything. It is just going to intoxicate people. And it puts them in illusion, by which they start thinking that their miseries are gone and they're achieving their happy, blissful life. Now, so this is religion of masses. Religion, opium of the masses. And next, he said, technology is the opium of the classes. Usually, class people, they want everything highly sophisticated, highly trending, highly where they use their rational mind and intelligence, and with that rationalism, people they add science, and with that scientific rationalism, people think that they can achieve everything in this world through the means of technology. So how technology is the opium of the classes, because technology also intoxicates people. Now, if you see, everyone in any field, they think that without even in agriculture, people think that without technology we can't do anything good. So much of technology is being used, and so much of inventions that are going on in the field of even in the field of human relationships, even in the field of agriculture. So much of technology is coming in place, and actually by this, people think that they are in an illusion, thinking that this kind of technology can be the solution in the modern day, and it can be a solution for all the problems. So that's why technology is the opium of the classes, like that. Now, I had been reading one of the I had been reading one of the article of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So very amazingly, Prabhuji was mentioning. So this is what Karl Marx states. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says, if Karl Marx is saying religion is the opium of the masses, he says, can't atheism be the opium? He says, because atheism is also actually covering up and it is blinding these people. So he quotes Karl Marx statement. He says, religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, the soul of the soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. That means by religion, we are oppressing people. We are suppressing their feelings. We are keeping them under subjugation. We are actually exploiting them. This is the kind of a notion that Karl Marx had. And that's why he makes this statement, that it is the opium of the people. So then Chaitanya Prabhu, he gives three counter arguments, which I felt so amazing. He says, are the hope, see, religion as a opium, this has unstated assumptions, because he is making some assumptions based on which he is making this statement. So, and then he makes, before that, he says, atheists allege that just as opium intoxicates people with illusory feelings of well-being without offering any real relief. See, one thing is, first it's going to do is intoxicates people, and it's going to give them illusory feelings of well-being, and it doesn't offer any real relief. Same thing religion is doing. See, only when people shed the false hopes offered by religion will they strive for actual well-being. This is what Karl Marx is saying. Only when they come out of this the conception with what that religion is going to solve my problems, when they are going to overcome this conception, then they will actually achieve well-being. This is what he's saying. Now Chaitanya Prabhu is countering this statement. He's saying, are the hopes offered by religion false? Whatever the hopes that religion is saying, whether it is false. Second thing that he says, can we have real well-being without religion? Whatever religion is saying that it is going to offer real well-being, whether there can be real well-being without religion. And the third one, he says, does religion divert our energy from real well-being? Whether real religion, whether it is going to take us away from real well-being. Okay, so this may look a little technical and complicated, but what Prabhuji is saying is quite simple, in the sense of whatever religion that, let's say, whether it is Christianity, whether it is Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, or whether it is Islam, all these kind of faiths, whatever it is offering, they are all termed, Western people term it as religion. So whatever these they are propounding, whether it is false. Now, if you see, there are so many researches that have gone through, where people are actually researching on those who are practicing religion and those who are not practicing a religion, when they compare both of their mental and physical health. Actually, they state that those who are practicing religion have much better physical health and mental health, and they can overcome their depression, they can overcome so many of their problems, and without being overly, because so many people commit suicides, but the amount of people, those who are committing suicide in a religious group is very less compared to those people who are atheistic. So in that sense, it is not false. Second, can we have real well-being without religion? Real well-being means what? First of all, one should have a concept that what is one's real identity. If one's real identity itself is not known, what can he actually do real well-being to himself? So the real well-being can be done if one is in knowledge. If that real knowledge is not there, then one cannot do anything. So that's, in that sense, religion is giving the real knowledge, because of which one can actually attain well-being. And does religion divert our energy from real well-being? Because religion is giving methods of practices. It is giving so many meditation techniques, yoga, all that it is offering. So how it can take one away from this kind of well-being. So this is what Chaitanya Prabhu was saying. So, but in modern context, we can see there are so many people, especially now, recently, there was this hijab, which is going on in very, very prominently in the society, and where people are not allowed. People are saying that you don't have to, people should not wear any kind of religious dress and come into classrooms and educational institutions. So at least in one sense, of course, we had been discussing this, Bhagavatam Prabhu, Adi Bhagavan Prabhu, we were discussing last week. At least people, Muslim girls, at least they are wearing full. And now they're making them remove that also. And they're making them wear pant and shirt and come like other people. So, but one thing what is happening all over is secularism is taking a huge prominence. Secularism means what? We don't want to identify with any religion. We want to identify ourselves as scientific and rational people, and we don't want any religious connections. And as a government, government officials, they also want to promote that kind of a system, because of which what is happening? That's what Prabhupada is saying very amazingly in this verse. So because of this, the entire society is turning to be sinful, and they are breaking so many of the religious principles, and because of which what is spreading is irreligiosity is actually booming up. So that's what is happening. So there in one of the articles, one devotee was mentioning that secularism is actually the concept of atheism, because in the name of secularism actually people are actually becoming atheists, and the whole administrative cabinet, they want to promote actually atheism, but they are actually saying secularism. In the name of secularism, they are actually promoting atheism, because what does secularism mean? Equal opportunity to all the religions, and equal opportunity should be there for every person to practice their own religion. Now, if we see, even last class we were discussing that Prithu Maharaj, one amazing, 4 amazing qualities which we discussed. But in that, first quality is he himself was a best practitioner of religion. And second thing, he would make sure that everyone else practices religion. Nobody should be without religion. That's what was his main aim. So as a king. So similarly, when we say secularism, their administrative assembly, they should make sure that everyone follows some or the other religion. Okay, whether you want to follow Islam, okay, you follow only Islam, but you follow but you follow one religion faithfully. And whether you want to follow Iskcon, yes, you should follow only Iskcon. So like that, so one religion they should follow without becoming, because Hitopadesh says, Dharmena hina pashubi samana. If one is not following any religion, he becomes an animal. That means he is going to break all the principles. So such people are the ones who are actually going to create big catastrophe in the society. Now, that person who is saying that, Karl Marx is saying that religion is the opium of the masses. So there, many times people also argue that this religion is actually becoming the cause of war and violence everywhere. But if you see, the majority of the wars, or where the people mass murders that have happened in a large scale, that have happened not in a states or nations where there is religion is in prominence, but it has happened more on atheistic nations. If you see Stalin, I recently, someone showed me who is the person who killed maximum people. So it says that Mao, that isn't it Amit? I think you showed, no? So that Mao, where communism was being spread, he killed almost 35 million. 35 million people he has killed. Hitler comes in 3rd or 4th list in this. But Hitler has become famous, but he comes 4th in the list. And the second person who comes is Stalin, who killed almost 25 million people. So all these people are communists who have killed, who have done so much of mass killing. But they say that religion is causing violence. Now, in one sense, the superficial differences also cause war, or it causes some violence in between the communities. But one who actually understands the proper import of the religion, but one who can actually understand the essence of all the religions, actually they don't actually fight. Only those who are superficially understanding the religion, they are the ones who are actually causing. So in that sense, so they were mentioning Ravana. Ravana is the emblem of the secular countries. Because he was the one who was, because he was the biggest atheist, and who was wanting to take away Mother Sita from Lord Ram. And like this, these atheistic nations, secular nations, they are wanting to take away the property of the Lord from God, and they are wanting to utilize for their own enjoyment. So they're all heading in the direction of Ravana. So there they were. So he was mentioning in one of the articles that this Ram, which Ayodhya, there was a conflict which was happening in Ayodhya with because they had Babar, he had taken over Ayodhya place, and he had built mosque, and so then there was a conflict even in the government, whom to give the place now for. Should we give to Hindus or should we give to Muslims? So because of which there was a great tension which was there since many decades. So this is now people have started saying that now we should be secular, we should give equal opportunity. But if the place, and they say that ancient mosque now they have demolished, which was built a few hundred years before, but Lord Ram's place is much more ancient, I think previous yugas. So, and there is no concept of it is not an Islam prominent place, but so much of tension that is going on because of superficial identification. So in that sense, secularism actually is in one sense they are trying to bring equality, but actually that equality is actually, because it is atheistic, it is taking people away from God. That actually will not bring a good to anybody, because over a period of time people are actually going to become more sinful. So there are recent statistics also which say that in most of these communist countries where there are secular governments, there the statistics of people undergoing crimes or any kind of dissatisfaction, all these rates are rapidly increasing. But on the other hand, where there is religion, people have at least faith. With that faith, they actually follow the principles, they follow the moral principles, because of which they are saved. So I think I told many things about secularism. One last point I just want to make in this context. So what happens to a person who one minute. So Prabhupada is saying here that these principles of religion, majorly 4 principles are mentioned: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So when these principles are actually broken, then it actually contradicts any other faith. So I'll just tell this in Kannada for the satisfaction of few devotees. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಪದ್ಮಪುರಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ತಪಸ್ಯ, ದಯೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶುಚಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಇದನ್ನ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಯಾಕೆಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೋದು, ಜೂಜಾಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಜೂಜಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಭಕ್ತಿಗೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ? ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಜೂಜಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಭಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸತ್ಯ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯ ಯಾವ್ದರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಜೂಜಾಟದಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶುಚಿ ಯಾವ್ದರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ವ್ಯಭಿಚಾರದಿಂದ, ಅವೈಧ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಸಂಘದಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಪಸ್ಯ ಯಾವ್ದರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮದ್ಯಪಾನ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಯಾವುದು? ದಯೆ ಯಾವ್ದರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮಾಂಸಾಹಾರದಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಈ ಜೂಜಾಟ ಹೇಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ದೂರ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಜೂಜಾಟ ಆಡಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದೇಗೆ ಅದು ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ದೂರ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ? ಯಾಕೆಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಶ್ಲೋಕದಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ನಂಗೆ ಇದು ಇನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯ್ತು. ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳಿ. ಶೋಕಾಮರ್ಷಾದಿಭಿರ್ಭಾವೈರ್ ಆಕ್ರಾಂತಂ ಯಸ್ಯ ಮಾನಸಂ ಕಥಂ ತತ್ರ ಮುಕುಂದಸ್ಯ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸಂಭಾವನಾ ಭವೇತ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶೋಕಾಮರ್ಷ ಆದಿಭಿರ್ ಭಾವೈರ್. ಶೋಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹಿಂದೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ, ವ್ಯಥೆ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥದ್ದು ಆ ಶೋಕ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮರ್ಷ, ಆಮರ್ಷ. ಆಮರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೋಪ, ಕೋಪ ಅಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರ. ಶೋಕ ಆಮರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಶೋಕ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಮರ್ಷ ಆದಿ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಗುಣಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗ ಶೋಕಾಮರ್ಷಾದಿಭಿರ್ ಭಾವೈರ್, ಯಾವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಗುಣಗಳು, ದುರಾಸೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಕೋಪ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಭೌತಿಕ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ವ್ಯಥೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಕಥಂ ತತ್ರ ಮುಕುಂದಸ್ಯ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸಂಭಾವನಾ ಭವೇತ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣಗಳಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮುಕುಂದನ ಮೇಲೆ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು, ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು, ಭಕ್ತಿಯ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ್ಮವನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಗುಣಗಳು ಜೊತೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಭಕ್ತಿನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನದು? ಅದೊಂದು ಮೋಹ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡು ದೋಣಿಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ದೋಣಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಕಾಲು ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಾವು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಗೋ ಇಲ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. ಇಂದ್ರಿಯ ತೃಪ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಭಗವಂತನ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಎರಡು ನಾವು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಭಕ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದು ಸೆಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೆಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರಜಾತಂತ್ರ, ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದು ಧರ್ಮದ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧರ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಶ್ರೀಲ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದಕಿ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಭು. ಹಿಟ್ಲರ್. ಹಾ 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 ಹಾ
ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ನ್ಯಾಯಸಮ್ಮತವಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಎಂತು? ಈಗ ಶತ್ರುಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಇದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಇದು ವಿರೋಧ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಮೋದಿ ಈಗ ನಮ್ ದೇಶ ಆಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ದೇಶ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನ್ ಮೋದಿ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದ್ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಅದ್ರ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನ್ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮೋದಿ ನನ್ ಕೊಲ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಭು. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಪ್ರಭು ಆತರ. ಈಗ ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನ್ಯಾಯಸಮ್ಮತವಾದದ್ದು ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಟ್ಲರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು?
ಒಂದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ನ್ಯಾಯಸಮ್ಮತವಾದದ್ದು ಯಾವ್ದು ನ್ಯಾಯಸಮ್ಮತವಾಗಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಗ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು? ಒಂದು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋದಲ್ಲ. ಮೊದಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಂದು ನಾವು ಅವರಿಂದ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ಜನರನ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ಲೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಾ? ಯುಧಿಷ್ಠಿರ ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ಅವರು ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಆಜ್ಞೆ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೊಲೆಗೆ ಕಾರಣ ನಾನಾಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸಂಕಟ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಭಾರವನ್ನು ಅವರೇ ಹೊರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಹಿಟ್ಲರ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಂದು ಅವನು ಆನಂದವಾಗಿದ್ದ. ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾವುದೇ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂಸೆಗೆ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಸೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಗಾಂಧಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಿಂಸೆಗೆ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಮ್ಮತವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅವನ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಮೊದಲು ಇವನ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇವನ್ಗೇನಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಬೇಕು? ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? ಈ ಹಿಟ್ಲರ್ ಅವನೊಬ್ಬನ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಈಗ ಭಗವಂತನ ದೂತ ನಾನು. ಅವನ್ಗೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಘೋಷಣೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಧಾರಣೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್